Okay, this session I'm working on PoorMansAnubis. I realized that it's running inefficiently because, well, background story on this. PoorMansAnubis sits between the client and the server side that it's protecting. So if there's a large binary download, that's a problem because it doesn't stream it currently. Right now, this session implements streaming for the Rust implementation of PoorMansAnubis. So that's basically what this session is for. In the Rust implementation, the request library with a W in it, request is spelled weird, for the name of the library. It's used to make the request to the server side. It's like curl, but used as a library in Rust. So my first thought was to pass a handle to the response to the function that is doing the request. But I decided against doing that. Helix editor is still processing. Takes a while for LSP to kick in once you start editing a project without having built it in a while. So this is where I go against my initial change of sending the response struct to the function that does the request. Instead, I'm going to return the request from the function that does the request response. That changes some things. For starters, I don't fully get the entire response body and pass it as a result. I return the response struct, which isn't completely doesn't contain the entire response from the server because it may be being currently streamed by request. Confusing that the name of the library is request, but long story short, by returning the request response from the function that does the request, I'm able to handle it better when I make the response to send to the client. This is done by first setting up a channel, which is a one-way stream from the bytes of the response into the body of the response. I have to say this more clearly. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting it up so that I stream bytes from PoorMansAnubis request to a server. That byte stream is being sent to the client requesting from PoorMansAnubis. Long story short. To do this, I make use of the request library's chunk function on its response from a request made with request. REQWEST, request. That's how the library is spelled. Anyways, by doing it this way, I don't buffer the entire response and then send it. I send it as it's being streamed in. So downloading large files through PoorMansAnubis Rust implementation should work more efficiently now, because it's doing it by streaming the data through, not downloading it at all into the PoorMansAnubis and then sending it as a response. So streaming it through just makes it more stateless, I guess you could say. It's not completely stateless, but it's getting pretty close with this implementation. As you can see, there are some... I don't think I can make this while loop better. So I used an infinite loop with the loop keyword. It will be a little bit unwieldy to handle the condition of chunk being valid or not for the condition of the while loop. And it's not infinite because it breaks eventually. Just by definition, the loop keyword is infinitely loop this part, and then inside that part, the developer can break out of the loop. Interesting available keyword for Rust there. Now that the changes have been made, I'm testing it in this session, during the recording of the session. During the session. So, I'm pretty sure I didn't mention this directly, but whenever I do any of these videos, recordings, I first work with a cinema recording, and then I replay the cinema to myself and do a commentary over it. This is how I've always done my voiceovers. I usually do a commentary the same day I make the recording. But if the recording is really long, like at least an hour, it will take a while. But anyways, I'm basically done with the implementation. I'm just doing some testing at this point. Actually, the rest of this is all testing, to be honest. So there's also the git commit and the git push as well, but basically there's nothing more to see here, so I'll say an early thanks for watching.